Good. Bandul, great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out. And I want to begin our conversation with, we're coming up on the 4-year anniversary of the pandemic. And I'm curious, how did you get through the pandemic and how did it change you?
Pandemic was actually a very good opportunity for me, professionally. Personally, obviously, it was daunting. I lost some of uh, my close friends, and it was very disturbing. But professionally, it was very good because again, we were in the business of education, and we used to teach people about how they can get their career started in Web3 and blockchain, and we used to help them with their self-help courses and stuff like that. And it really blew it in the pandemic, right? Because everybody was sitting at home, and everybody wanted to acquire some extra skills where they can learn about how they can maximize their earnings or investments. So my first company, which is Finstreet.in, which is a crypto education platform, or one of the biggest crypto education platform back in 2019, got really big, and we got acquired in 2021 with a good exit. And yeah, so it was a good time for me.
Yeah. So obviously you're in blockchain, you're an entrepreneur, but if I was to get to the kind of the essence of what you do on a daily basis, I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of grade school kids, let's say 9-year-olds, third graders, and it's career day. And one of the kids is curious and asks you, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How would you answer that child?
So I would answer that, my answer would be very simple that, I just train child like you to become an entrepreneur, right? And I help them with all the mentorship, networking, money, anything that they need for the entrepreneurship. And I just make entrepreneurs out of people, which is a great thing to do.
So what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream to grow up and become?
So I always was I was a problem solver always, right? So I always enjoyed solving problems, and that was my thing, right? I always enjoyed it. And the closest thing that I wanted to be, it was an engineer, because again, I as a third grader, I always thought that engineering is something where you solve problems on daily level, which is quite the case. That's why I wanted to be an engineer, and I became one.
So talk to me a little bit about how you got into blockchain. How did this specific career become your passion?
So I started my entrepreneurial journey around 10 years back, and I was 18 by then, right? And it was a B2B merchandise business where we used to manufacture t-shirts, hoods, and all kind of merchandise for different companies. And companies like JP Morgan, Uber Eats, L'Oreal was our client at that point of time. And we were second largest, merchandise company within no time, like within 4 5 years of our journey. It was going great. So I met a guy. He just came back from US. He used to work in Google, and he taught me about this thing that, okay, Bandul, you already do stock trading. I used to do stock trading, right? And I was a day trader, doing that along with my entrepreneurial strength, which was custom barrel business. He told me that this is like stock market, but it works 24/7. That was my first introduction, because it works 24/7 was very intriguing, because again, as an entrepreneur, I always had limited bandwidth. The stock market's open in a time window, right? They operate in a time window. I said, okay, let's take a look. Then I deep dived into it. I learned about it. I learned about Bitcoin. I read Bitcoin Standard, and it really blew me away that, you know, what kind of technology this is, and this can be the future, right? And I want to bet on the future. So I bought my first Bitcoin in 2016. Then in 2017's rally, I made like really crazy shit of money, and then lost it all in 2018 when the bear market hits, because that's the first timers thing. Then I learned about it, and then I started investing again. Then I again built my corpus. Then by 2019, I wanted to teach this to everybody, right? Because I think that this is very new, and people in India want to learn about it, right? And I can be one of the medium who can teach about it. Then I started my Finstreet company, and then it got acquired in 2021. And then I started my angel investing career, and now I'm working with Internet Computer Protocol as their India hub leader. Basically, I'm doing activation for them in India, creating entrepreneurs, developers, and community for them in India. Yeah.
So who's been kind of a hero or a role model for you in your life? You're obviously highly driven, got a lot of dreams. Who's been that for you?
So for me, my role model is Dhirubhai Ambani. I don't know if you know him or not. His son is the fourth richest person in the world right now. Mukesh Ambani, the Reliance Group, you must have heard about. I don't know if you have heard about it. It's they are the richest in India, right? Just like Elon Musk in the world and in the US, uh, they're similar. So Dhiru Ambani has been my big inspiration because he started as a startup and he basically dived into a lot of businesses and created a wealth for himself. So he was kind of a role model for me, throughout my journey. Along with him, Steve Jobs also motivated me to the max because again that cynicness that I want to create something that is exceptional and it's out of the world, it really excites me.
So every day you wake up, you obviously have a lot of drive. What is it that gets you out of bed? What is it that gets you to do not only the work that you do, but to evolve as a person?
So again, my role at this point of time, as I told you, is to create entrepreneurs, to help entrepreneurs. Now that this is the best feeling when you get out of the bed, first thing you think is, I'm gonna change someone's life. Like the work that I will do today will create an entrepreneur which in turn in his lifetime will create thousands of jobs, right? So my 2 hours of work will ultimately give 1,000 people their earnings, right? And this feeling is very good in itself, right? So that's why I love my work, right? And this was my dream job from last 3 4 years, that I want to be this guy who helps other people to take off. And I've helped around 24 startups to take off, and I've mentored a lot of them. Uh, so it really gives me kick that the work I will do today will change the future.
So what's been one of your best client success stories that you've been involved with?
Client success stories.
Yeah.
Um, so we work with a so my best client story is with Infinite Computer only, right? Because again, I'm working with them at this point of time, and my best story is they're not my client as such because again, we represent them in India, right? But again, once we were setting it up, the process was very raw because I was first of the cohort, and then we fine-tuned the whole process of how this will look like globally, and all these 24 hubs will work in accordance. And so working with them was like out of the world. Yeah,
So of all of the things that you've done and accomplished, there's been a lot. What are you the proudest of?
the proudest stuff. So the proudest stuff is yet to come because hopefully in this year, my plan is to activate at least 100 entrepreneurs and 100 startups to come out of the Indian ecosystem. And I believe once I do it, that will be my proudest moment. So I'm working towards it.
So where do you see yourself in say 5 to 10 years from now? What's your ultimate dream and goal?
So I'm living my ultimate dream. In 5 years from down the line, 10 years down the line, 100 years down the line, if I'm alive, if the technology catches up to this de-aging thing, then I'll be doing the same work. That is helping entrepreneurs, helping developers, creating jobs for people. This is the work that I like the most, right? Because you have a feeling of gratitude, you have that sense of fulfillment once you come home, once you lie in your bed, that I've done something good for the society. So really enjoy my work, and I want to continue doing it, not for the money, but I just like doing it every day.
Great answer. So Bandul, everyone out there has a perception of you, an idea of who they think you are. Family, friends, all of your clients, but you ultimately run the show. Who do you think you are? What is your perception of you?
Um, at the end, I'm just a teacher. I'm a teacher's son. My mother was a teacher. Like she used to teach people for in a high school for what 35 years. And so she brought me up, and I've seen her teaching every day. We used to have that extra classes. She used to go to school to teach, and I believe I'm a teacher myself, and I want to be like mother, just become a good teacher. So if that's the one thing that I want to describe to mom about myself, I just want to be a teacher.
So if
Simple.
any so if anyone out there is interested in reaching out, hiring you, furthering their lives, getting into blockchain as a startup, How do they reach out? How do they do that?
So you can reach me out on probably Twitter and LinkedIn. These are the most. I'm not very active on social media anyways, but again, these are the two best platforms to reach me out, right? And again, my company email ID is always open. So if they want to reach out, info@kuspe.in, they can always reach out on my company and my team will respond back. But if they want to get in touch with me personally, LinkedIn or Twitter is the best medium to do that.
Excellent. Bandhul, thank you so much for reaching out. Thank you for taking time out today. Best of luck. This has been wonderful.
Thank you, Joe, for hosting me. It was great talking to you.
Great talking to you.